Ladies and gentlemen, welcome once again to Turkish Spotlight Secrets, your compass in the stormy swell of showbiz, where we slice through the noise and chase the pulse beneath the glitter. Tonight we slip into a quieter frequency, not the roar of headlines but the hush of carefully chosen moves. In this world of blazing flashes and feverish timelines, the most magnetic truths tend to live in the shadows. We are about to trace the outline of two stars who have turned publicity into a game of strategy, playing with the calm, precise rhythm of grandmasters. Before we lift the veil on their plan, make yourself at home in our family, hit subscribe, tap the bell so you won't miss a beat, and if you value deep diving, respectful entertainment storytelling, consider joining our channel or sending a super thanks. Your support fuels every breadcrumb we follow. Ready to hear what Gökberk, Yıldırım and Cemre Arda have been plotting, far from the frenzy? Then let's begin. In an age when noise is often mistaken for relevance, when the currency of many careers is overexposure, Gökberk and Cemre have chosen the quieter road, one of deliberate discretion and seamless silence. For months, both have kept a low burn, slipping past the brightest beams while their names orbited softly at the edges, attached to separate projects that appeared to have nothing to do with each other. On the surface, calm waters, different shores, polite distance. But beneath that glassy surface, the whispers say something else entirely. According to voices close enough to feel the heat of the spotlight without standing in it, a plan has been shaping itself with methodical care. Step by step, detail by detail, maturing in the dark until the timing felt unarguable. To the casual observer, it looked like prudence. To those who read the industry like a second language, it was the stillness before a carefully seeded storm. Public speculation never slept. Are they together? Are they apart? Is this a pact, a pause, a mirage meant to draw us off the scent? The most steady rumor, the one that refused to loosen its grip, insisted that communication between Gökberk and Cemre never stopped. Away from prying eyes and amplified microphones, they were said to be in constant contact, aligning their calendars with that stern, steady precision that only comes from discipline. The timeline keeps coming up the same way. Since last summer's warm glow, they've been rotating commitments like gears, locking one notch after another. No coincidences, no accidents, just design. The purpose? Not a fleeting weekend or a stolen holiday, but a block of time ring-fenced for two. Leaked whispers reaching our desk paint an even broader picture, a long game that blends personal and professional until the line itself dissolves, reshaping how they will be seen, and how they will move, next. The first act of this plan, if the murmurs are right, pushes them beyond domestic dazzlement and onto an international stage. Gökberk's carefully tended global connections, paired with Cemre's contracts with major brands that headline in every language, point to something larger than romance in a postcard or a discreet getaway. This is a power play, a coordinated expansion of two careers into a single momentum, twin spotlights merging into a brighter, more deliberate glow. Every angle, we're told, is accounted for. High-fashion editorials draped over old-world European avenues, meetings behind gold-tinted boardroom glass, privately curated appearances at events where the guest list is a currency of its own, and clever pauses to disappear and refill, far from cameras that purr with curiosity. The idea is not to dodge attention, but to choreograph it, intermittent light, measured silence, a rhythm that answers to their own tempo. Their patience has an edge. For those who know how to read a feed like an analyst reads a chart, the signs have been everywhere, sprinkled like clues for an audience willing to connect dots. Recent posts carrying a strange symmetry and timing, captions with the kind of ambiguity that begs interpretation, and that uncanny sense of place. Two photos that never share a frame but share a mood, a color palette, a horizon line, a doorway with the same ironwork. Appearances with mutual friends that feel coincidental until you look twice. A joke shared in a comment just vague enough to spark 1,000 theories. To the faithful watchers, this looks like a message written in daylight but coded in intent. Are they inviting us to solve the riddle before the reveal? While neither Gökberk nor Cemre has broken their vow of quiet, the energy online is already rattling. Fans parse interviews from years ago like archaeologists brushing dust off a priceless fragment. Editors zoom into reflections in windows to see who else might be in the room. Threads explode with theories. Is it a new series? A leap abroad? A personal milestone that changes everything? That electrifying chemistry they once let slip into the public eye is now a drumbeat many swear they can hear again, even if nobody has pressed play. A voice close to their inner circle gives the same line every time, and somehow it grows heavier. This time the plans are deeper, steadier, meant to last. No rush because there is no doubt, only a destination that both can describe without looking at a map. Then there's the detail that keeps returning like a refrain, a date circled in private, tucked away but guarded, falling at the exact intersection of two separate timelines. It lines up with Cemre's brand launch windows and the start of a new cycle for Gökberk, turning coincidence into inevitability. It's not spontaneous. It's tactical. It's a step marked months ago, a domino poised by a careful hand. Those who use words like strategy and rollout and phase prefer another phrase for what they're seeing now: controlled unfolding. Pieces that click without friction. A choreography you notice only if you know the steps. The most buzzed about whisper hums in the same register, the possibility, real, tangible, that Gökberk and Cemre will share the screen again. No signed pages have floated into public view, no official titles are trending, but the math makes itself. They carved out simultaneous free time. Producers with sharp pencils and sharper instincts know the arithmetic of their names in the same headline, the gravitational pull of their combined brand, the pop of their image in a single frame. Meetings with mutual friends have been spotted and dismissed and reanalyzed. Every coffee becomes a council, every dinner a summit. For those trained to listen between words, these gatherings sound like foundations being laid. The word from people who have seen their evolution up close, they move with more resolve now. Past lessons have scraped away any taste for impulsive leaps. This is a search for balance, a steady line between the heart's quiet and ambition's noise. So we arrive at the question twisting nerves in agencies and fan pages and newsroom chats: are we standing at the point of no return? The press is restless, the internet humming, stan accounts polishing graphics just in case. Any announcement before the year turns, or right as the calendar flips, would not just trend, it would take up residence in the conversation. Details are sealed, but the recurring claim is stubborn: the prep is done. The countdown exists. And yet, beneath that drum, a softer rumor slips through: this isn't only about two people shifting their trajectory. Word is, those closest to them, family, old friends, the ones who have their numbers, not their publicists, have been told a version of a single sentence: prepare for unexpected surprises. It's not a weekend. It's not a brief project. It's not a wave that passes and leaves sand in its wake. This is something with a foundation, a recalibration that could redraw the lines they walk. Image handlers who study timing and tone say the most elegant choice they've made is how they handle the press. Not with hostility, not with clingy oversharing, but with a model of carefully metered access. Private flights when it counts, routes that zig where the obvious path would zag, locations that hug privacy like a cloak. Last-minute switches that leave even the most hungry lens staring at an empty door. The irony breathes on its own. Concealment breeds curiosity, and curiosity sparks devotion. Fan pages have already started ticking off days, slicing their own edits from old clips where eyes talk louder than lines, soldiering through live streams to catch a half-second of something unsaid. Meanwhile, brands are not just watching, they're calculating. Partnerships that once hovered are inching forward. International labels are tracking, assessing, planning. A joint presence has the glitter of perfect arithmetic. Reach plus reach becomes more than a sum. People in rooms where whiteboards rule the day keep repeating it: the outline is complete, it's down to polish. The edges are being smoothed. The sheen is being set. When it hits the light, it should gleam just right. At Turkish Spotlight Secrets, faced with a mystery this carefully assembled, we want your instincts. Do you think we're perched on the edge of a reveal that shifts the landscape of Turkish television, and maybe even pushes beyond it? If you had to place your bets, would you call it a new drama that storms the ratings, an international step that widens the map, or a personal chapter that redefines both their names in one breath? Which other Turkish stars should we put under our microscope next? Tell us. Your voice steers where we look. Before we go, a few final sparks. Notice how they've allowed a rhythm to build. A hint here, a glance there, a posted skyline that mirrors another, a soundtrack in a story that turns up again somewhere else. The trail is subtle and deliberate, as if the audience is being invited to keep pace rather than chase. That shared date, quietly guarded, strategically placed, keeps pulsing at the center. If what we're hearing holds, we can expect a reveal with two levels, one for the industry, one for the heart. The professional piece will whisper international, collaboration, crossover appeal. The personal piece will speak to permanence, to intention, to something that rearranges schedules instead of squeezing into them. And the phrase that keeps echoing from those who would know, "Preparations complete," sounds less like hype and more like a calm breath taken before the curtain lifts. We'll be here when it does. We'll be ready to parse the angles, savor the details, and follow the music of their moves. If this is the era of Gökberk, Yıldırım and Cemre, Arda choosing the pace instead of being chased by it, then we are witnessing two artists not just protecting their story, but composing it. Stay with us. Like this video if you live for this kind of narrative hunt. Subscribe to Turkish Spotlight Secrets so you don't miss the moment a whisper turns into an anthem. And if you want to step behind the rope with us, hit join or send a super thanks. Your support is the reason we can keep listening, keep connecting dots, and keep telling the story with respect. Until next time, stay alert, stay curious, and above all, stay with Turkish Spotlight Secrets.